I have two pillows on my bed. One is a regular pillow, and the other is a hugging pillow. On the very first day of school, my cold and super beautiful benchmate started talking to me on her own. Don't hug your pillow when you sleep at night. I thought what she said was really weird. So that night, I hugged my pillow even tighter than usual and went to sleep. The next morning, the beauty at school had a completely red face, and she softly said, "If you want to hug it, then go ahead. But can't you do it a little more gently?" Anyway, forget that. It was the beginning of the new semester, and all the students were frantically finishing their homework. Because the day before school reopened, I had stayed up until 2 a.m. finishing my assignments. My back was killing me. My shoulders were hurting too. At that moment, all I wanted was to hold my hugging pillow and fall asleep. But something felt strange. Why did my pillow look so red today? Maybe my eyes were playing tricks on me. Yeah, it had to be because of the room's lighting, but even its smell seemed a little different than before. Maybe Mom used a new detergent. But the very next morning, the moment I opened my eyes, my face turned completely red. I couldn't believe it. Even in my dream, I had another dream. And in that dream, my cold and beautiful benchmate was there. Besides, she probably doesn't even know my name. So why would I dream about her? When I arrived at the classroom, my benchmate, Shen Qingming, was already sitting in her seat. Remembering last night's dream, I didn't even have the courage to look at her. Whenever I get nervous, I pretend to keep myself busy. So the moment I sat down, I started wiping my desk over and over again. Then, all of a sudden, she said, "Don't hug your pillow when you sleep at night." I was instantly confused. Are you talking to me? Is there anyone else here besides you? A question immediately popped into my mind. How does she know I sleep while hugging my pillow? No, wait. That's not even the real issue. If I sleep hugging my pillow, why does she have a problem with it? Why can't I hug it? Is she seriously trying to control my sleeping habits now? Why does this girl have such extreme mood swings? But honestly, the fact that she talked to me on her own was already unbelievable. Even while walking home after self-study that night, her words kept replaying in my head. How does she know I hug my pillow when I sleep? Did she secretly put a camera in my room? Impossible. None of this makes any logical sense. I don't know what kind of new detergent Mom used, but it really did smell amazing. And the strange part was, the scent felt oddly familiar, like I had smelled it somewhere before. I just couldn't remember where. But the more Shen Qingming told me not to hug my pillow, the more I wanted to hug it even tighter. That night, I dreamed about Shen Qingming again, and this dream was even more dangerous than the one before. I'm just an ordinary 18-year-old guy. So how could I possibly have dreams like that? But it was true. Even after waking up, I felt a little disappointed that the dream had ended. When I looked at myself in the mirror, everything from my cheeks to my neck had turned red. Looking at myself, I could only think of one thing. My brain is seriously broken. After I got to school, I didn't even have the courage to look at Shen Qingming. But I didn't realize that she was avoiding my eyes too. Just then, a girl walked past our desk, trying to hold back her laughter, and said, "Why are both of your faces so red? You two look exactly like a shy couple. Don't tell me you're secretly dating." After that, things became even more awkward between us. But after the break, Shen Qingming quietly said, "I told you not to hug your pillow when you sleep at night." Annoyed, I replied, "Girl, the things you say are seriously weird. First of all, how do you even know that I sleep hugging my pillow?" After staying silent for a few seconds, she softly said, "What if I told you that the pillow you hug every single night is actually me?" The moment I heard that, my mind went completely blank, because the girl I kept seeing in my dreams really was Shen Qingming. But in real life, I was only hugging an ordinary pillow, right? Looking straight into my eyes, Shen Qingming said, "I know you won't believe me, but I have proof." And the very next second, a familiar fragrance drifted toward me, and I froze in shock because that scent was exactly the same as the scent of my pillow. Did you forget? I already knew that before going to sleep, you always go up to your pillow and smell it. Now you have proof, don't you? I was completely stunned. Was everything Shangming was saying actually true? I quietly asked, "Since when has this been happening?" She replied, "Since around the end of last semester's vacation." I stared at her in shock. That meant it had been more than 10 days. For all those days, she had been experiencing this every single night, while I, out of pure habit, hugged my pillow tightly every night. Scenes from my room immediately started flashing through my mind. Walking around without a shirt, lying on my bed in all kinds of positions, playing with my little weapon. Just thinking about all of that made my face instantly turn red. Lowering her eyes slightly, Shanshan softly said, "I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I wanted to tell you on the very first night, but I added you and you never accepted my request. To be honest, I don't understand it either. As soon as night comes, I can't fall asleep, and then I automatically get teleported next to your pillow. If you want, you can try using a different pillow." After that day, our relationship became even more awkward. Before we were just classmates. Now there was a strange secret between us that had turned into a bizarre misunderstanding-based connection. That night, I picked up my usual hugging pillow and placed it on the sofa in the living room. That was the kindest thing I could do. Otherwise, I could have just locked it inside the closet. At the very least, if she got teleported again, she'd be a little more comfortable on the sofa. But sleeping without hugging a pillow was impossible because I'd had that habit since childhood. So I took another pillow out of the closet, hugged it, and went to sleep. The next day at school, I asked, "I changed my pillow last night. Did you still come?" I slept after leaving that pillow on the sofa. "Were you able to sleep properly?" Shinchin answered directly, "Last night I still got teleported next to that same pillow." I froze for a second. Wait, so no matter which pillow I hug, you'll appear next to that pillow? Maybe. She gently nodded her head. Then, with an awkward laugh, I said, "All right. Tonight I'll try sleeping without hugging a pillow. Although that's going to be really difficult for me." That night, I kept tossing and turning across my big bed. I couldn't fall asleep at all. Then my phone vibrated. A message from Shanchming appeared. "If you really can't fall asleep, you can hug the pillow. Just make sure you don't hug it too tightly." The moment I read that message, my brain completely short-circuited. What exactly did she mean by, "Don't hug it too tightly"? What kind of line was that? But, alright. Now I understood. The moment I realized that this pillow was directly connected to Shanchming, my heartbeat became even faster. "Shanchming, you've probably already arrived, haven't you? Relax. Tonight I'm hugging it very gently." Suddenly a voice came right beside my ear. "What are you doing?" That's so weird. I almost jumped off the bed. "Shan-chan, you can talk too?" She replied with a slightly confused expression. I couldn't before. I don't know why my voice suddenly started coming out today. It's just like before when you couldn't smell my scent. And then 2 days ago, you suddenly started being able to. I immediately blurted out, "So are you evolving inside the pillow or something? Today you can talk. Tomorrow, don't tell me the pillow's going to grow arms and legs. I don't know either," she said in a completely calm tone. "Be quiet and go to sleep. We have to wake up early tomorrow morning." A few seconds later, the room became completely silent. I stared at the ceiling in disbelief. Did she fall asleep? Seriously? How can you fall asleep that easily? But the real problem started after that. All night long, one voice kept echoing in my ears. "Jian Hengsheng, wake up. You're going to be late. Jiang Hengsheng, hurry up and get up." Still half asleep, I muttered irritably, "Shanmeng, stop it. You've been calling me all night." She immediately replied, "You're still sleeping. Morning self-study starts in just 20 minutes. The moment I heard that, my eyes flew wide open. What? I'm done for. I jumped out of bed at lightning speed and rushed to school. There was only one fear in my heart. The teacher was going to scold me again. But luckily, I made it to the classroom just in time for attendance. The moment I sat down, I let out a sigh of relief. Then suddenly something felt strange. Wait a minute. Shanchming usually arrives before me. Why isn't she here yet? Did she go to the restroom? Just then, the classroom door opened. Shanchang walked in. She looked a little tired. When she saw me, she gave a faint smile and said, "Husband, where were you? I overslept. Be more careful next time." My old friend. Wait, my benchmate overslept too? Shen Qingming answered directly, "You were the one who overslept. But I wasn't late." "Then how did you end up being late? Your house is so close to the school." Looking straight at me, she said, "This morning you said that I kept saying your name all night. What did you mean by that?" I froze for a second, because technically she really had been saying my name the entire night. The only problem was, it all happened in my dream. In my dream, I had seen a little puppy that kept saying my name all night. But the exact words Shen Qingming had said that morning were exactly the same. "Shanming, stop it. You've been saying my name all night." I stared at her in shock. "How can you imitate my voice so perfectly?" With an awkward laugh, I said, "Oh yeah, that puppy's name was Shen Qingming too. Just a coincidence. Same name. You believe in coincidences, right?" Shen Qingming simply kept staring at me in silence. After school, she handed me a loaf of bread and a carton of milk. At that moment, I realized that this girl was genuinely very caring. She knew I hadn't been able to eat breakfast that morning. Just then, someone shouted from outside the classroom, "King Ming, someone came to see you." The two of us walked outside. A handsome senior was standing there. He was holding a confession letter in his hand. "Student Shen Qingming, this is my confession letter. I like you." The girls standing nearby immediately started whispering excitedly, "Look, that's Lion, the famous senior from our university. He's super handsome. He's also one of the top students, and I heard his family is really rich." Lian handed over the confession letter with a confident smile. But Shen Qingming politely lowered her head and said, "I'm sorry. I don't have any plans to be in a relationship before graduation." Lian smiled faintly. "All right, then I'll try again after graduation." After he left, I jokingly said, "Wow, your admirer is pretty handsome." Shen Qingming looked straight at me and replied, "But not as handsome as you." I immediately panicked. Me? Handsome? I know exactly what my face looks like. Now she had even started teasing me openly. The old Shanshan had been almost like she was mute. She hardly talked, she was expressionless. Lines like that could never have come out of her mouth. As time slowly passed, the college entrance exams drew closer. Every single night, Shangming continued teleporting next to my pillow. Little by little, I got used to this strange situation. By then, hugging her like she was my pillow had started to feel almost normal. Because of the pressure from the exams, I was under a lot of stress. But every night, the moment I heard the soft sound of her breathing, for some reason, my heart automatically calmed down. After that, I started staying up late every night studying and reviewing. Then one day, Shangbing finally couldn't take it anymore. "Why are you panicking so much? You just have to substitute the values into the formula. If you don't know how, should I teach you? I'm your lifesaver. Show me a little respect." Then she pointed at the notebook and said, "By the way, these questions are actually a trap." Whenever Qingming taught me, everything suddenly became surprisingly easy. My math results slowly started improving as well. The mock test scores that had once been only double digits gradually climbed all the way to single-digit ranks. The day before the exam, she said in a serious tone, "Go over this topic one more time. There's a very good chance it'll be on tomorrow's exam." I immediately nodded. "Got it. I definitely won't ignore the advice of the top student." The next morning, the moment I opened my eyes, I heard her voice. "Today is the college entrance exam. It's an important day. Best of luck." The exams continued for 2 straight days. Finally, everything was over. The moment I walked out of the exam hall, I took a deep breath. I think I did pretty well this time. I should be able to get into a good university. Finally. It's all over. But that night, something was different. Shen Qingming didn't appear next to my pillow. She didn't come the following night either. I quietly lay on my bed and smiled to myself. I almost forgot. You don't have to become my pillow anymore. You're probably really happy now, aren't you? But for some reason, there was a strange emptiness in my heart. After the college entrance exams, the school organized a farewell gathering. Deep inside, I felt a little excited. Maybe this would be my last chance to see Shen Qingming. I slowly walked toward the private room. From a distance, I saw Shen Qingming. She was talking to a guy and her back was facing me. I was just about to call out to her, but the moment I saw that scene, a sharp pain suddenly hit my heart. That was when I realized jealousy, and I wasn't the only one feeling it. I quickly looked away and walked into the room. But the moment I stepped inside, I realized a confession scene was happening. A guy was holding a bouquet and proposing to his benchmate. Watching that moment, only one thought came to my mind. So this is what it's like when two people secretly like each other. It really was a beautiful scene. The two of them smiled as they looked into each other's eyes. I quietly watched them while secretly feeling jealous inside. Just then, I unconsciously glanced toward the doorway. At that exact moment, Shen Qingming walked in. She looked directly at me and, with a gentle smile, said, "Happy graduation. Congratulations. You too." Smiling, I replied. I felt like Shen Qingming wanted to say something else, but in the end, she stayed silent. Throughout the entire farewell party, she sat right beside me, but the two of us hardly spoke at all. When the party ended, our classmates started hugging one another. My benchmate. We should at least share one hug. I don't know how often we'll get to see each other in the future. I gathered my courage and gently hugged Shen Qingming. At that moment, there was only one thought in my mind. I wish this moment could last just a little longer. But no party in this world lasts forever. Before graduation, Shen Qingming stood on her tiptoes and gently touched my head. "Hangsheng, if you ever run into any problems in the future, contact me. My WeChat number will stay the same. I won't change it." Later, I found out through the class group chat that Shen Qingming had achieved the top rank in the entrance exams. 2 famous universities were competing to recruit her. But in the end, she chose Jing University, and our school's handsome senior, Lian, followed her there and enrolled in the same university. I quietly stared at my phone screen. Maybe talented people really do end up staying with other talented people. Now, the two of us had truly gone down different paths. After that, I enrolled in a university in the South. University life wasn't nearly as easy as I had imagined. Sometimes, it felt even more exhausting than high school, but every day still felt fulfilling. Every night before going to sleep, I quietly hugged my pillow and fell asleep. Sometimes I would quietly check Shen Qingming's social media profile, just to see whether she had uploaded a new selfie or not. Looking at her personality, it felt like she was probably still shining at her dream university. She had probably made lots of new talented friends too. And maybe, by now she barely even remembered an old friend like me. Sometimes there was only one wish in my heart. I wish we could meet just one more time, even if it was only to talk for a little while. During the second semester of my first year, a senior from my club confessed to me, "Hangsheng, if you're free, would you like to go out with me sometime? I think you're a really nice person." I'd like to get to know you better. I stayed silent for a few seconds. Then I quietly said, Senior, I'm really sorry. There's already someone in my heart. She gave me a slightly helpless smile and said, so, I was too late. Later, my roommate started teasing me. Bro, a senior personally asked you out, and you turned her down. How can you stay so calm? Is there really someone else in your heart? Or are you planning to spend your entire life with your computer? I simply smiled. You guys wouldn't understand. There's been someone special in my heart for a long time. One of my roommates burst out laughing. Oh really? So there's a special person too? I thought I was your favorite. Laughing, I replied. I'm serious. There really is someone. The next morning, my phone suddenly vibrated. The moment I saw the sender's name, my breathing stopped. Shen Qingming. Heng Sheng. If you're free, can we meet and talk for a while? I immediately sat upright in bed. This is really her message. An uncontrollable smile spread across my face. Free? I'm absolutely free. I've been really free lately. My roommates shouted irritably from underneath their blankets. Heng Sheng, why are you making so much noise this early in the morning? It sounds like you're about to shake the bed apart. My roommate muttered that half asleep because I simply couldn't contain my excitement. Remember that special old friend I told you guys about? She just texted me. She wants to meet me. Guys, I'm not hanging out with you today. My roommates looked at each other and started laughing. So there really was a special old friend. Bro, you're so happy it looks like your dream just came true. I quickly changed my clothes and headed to the cafe where we had planned to meet. From a distance, I saw Shen Qingming. She was already sitting by the window. Before going inside, I took a deep breath and tried to calm myself down. The moment I sat across from her, she smiled gently. It's been a long time, Heng Sheng. You really haven't changed at all. Holding back a laugh, I replied, How have I not changed? But deep inside, another thought was running through my mind. It's that same familiar fragrance. It really feels nice. As she stirred her coffee, she asked, How's university life going? It's been great. I've made a lot of new friends. Then she looked straight into my eyes and asked, Do you ever think about me? Without hesitating, I answered, Yeah, you've always been someone very special, so of course I think about you. Then I quietly asked, And you? Shen Qingming's eyes softened a little. I miss you very much. My heartbeat seemed to stop for a second. Just then, a girl's voice suddenly came from behind us. Heng Sheng, so it really is you. I turned around. It was a senior from my university. Inside, I prayed, Please, save me. She looked at Shen Qingming and asked in a teasing tone, Oh, is this your girlfriend? I immediately started waving my hands in panic. No, she's my high school classmate. She just happened to be here, so we casually decided to meet. The senior smiled. I see. Then I won't disturb you. Next time, I'll treat you to a meal. She left, but the situation had become even more confusing. Now I couldn't even explain it properly. Seriously, there was no way I could clear up that misunderstanding. After the senior left, Shen Qingming quietly stared in that direction for a few seconds. I softly called her name, Qingming. Only then did she return to reality. She suddenly asked, Are you dating anyone right now? Not at all. The senior from just now only came because of the club. Yeah, she invited me to join before, but I politely turned her down. Silence filled the space between us for a while. Then Shen Qingming quietly said, Heng Sheng, can we try getting to know each other better, little by little? Can we step into each other's worlds? I could only stare at her with a blank expression. I couldn't believe that Shen Qingming herself wanted to get closer to me. I kept wondering what I should say. Even after thinking for so long, only 2 words came out of my mouth. If you want, it's your choice. The very next second, I got angry at myself. Idiot. In moments like this, you're not supposed to let the girl confess first. I should have been the one chasing her. Shen Qingming laughed softly. All right then. That day, the 2 of us had dinner together. We ordered her favorite strawberry cake. We watched a movie, we went to the park, and we did all the little things that couples normally do on a date. That night, we booked 2 separate rooms in the same hotel. Before going to sleep, she smiled and said, Good night. You too. Good night. Before the door completely closed, she quietly said, Heng Sheng, from now on, you're only mine. The next morning, I went to the airport to see her off. Watching her leave suddenly made my heart feel heavy. I couldn't stop myself. I grabbed her hand and pulled her toward me. Qingming, how much longer are we going to wait? Why don't we officially get together starting today? I don't want to wait anymore. Even if you regret it someday, I'll take responsibility. Shen Qingming looked at me for a few seconds. Then she smiled gently. All right, boyfriend, I'll keep coming to see you again and again. Okay, I won't come to pick you up. You come by yourself. Every Friday after classes, I'll head straight over. After returning to the dorm, I went straight to my roommates. Guys, officially no longer single. My roommates reacted immediately. Wow, bro, that's some smooth progress. Yesterday, you were just talking about meeting her. Today, you're already in a relationship. Now that's a whole different story. Even I was shocked. Yesterday, it was just a meeting. Today, we were together. Now that we were together, I still wanted to see her every single second. It all felt like a dream. But one thought kept bothering me over and over again. Why does she like me? Just as I was thinking about that, a message from Shen Qingming appeared. I didn't come to your city because of work. I came to find you. My mind went completely blank. So, she had come all this way just for me. A strange mix of shock and emotion filled my heart. The feeling of love, it shines so brightly. That night, when I hugged my pillow and went to sleep, that same familiar scent appeared again. I quietly said, "Qingming, I'm here too." A voice came from the pillow. Then, the moment I opened my eyes, she had become a pillow again. I got excited. I have so many things I want to tell you. But we were both exhausted, so all I could say was, good night. The next morning, I requested permission from my counselor to live off campus. The moment I got home that night, I started talking nonstop. "Qingming, do you know what happened today?" My counselor kept looking at me strangely, and the lady in the cafeteria didn't even give me extra rice. Then I stopped. "Sorry, am I talking too much? Am I being annoying? I hope I'm not boring you." Qingming softly replied, "No, I find your stories interesting." I was a little surprised. "Then why didn't you talk to me in high school?" She calmly answered, "Back then, you had a cold aura. I was scared, so I couldn't approach you." Then she paused for a moment before saying, "I don't usually get close to people, but you're the exception. I like listening to you." I couldn't help but laugh softly. Before, I used to think watching love stories was interesting. Now that I was experiencing it myself, I finally understood how real and intense it truly was. Then time skipped forward. After graduation, we officially registered our marriage. I made a post on my social media. Finally, we made it. The comments started pouring in. I've been saying these two had something going on. It was obvious since high school, so it's finally confirmed. "Congratulations," I replied. "If you have time, definitely come to the wedding." That night, I returned to our room, and I felt only one thing. I finally found my home. "Why do you smell so nice? Did you change your detergent? Or did you secretly put on perfume?" I looked a little confused. "Huh? No, only you can smell that scent." Qingming smiled gently and said, "You've changed." I immediately asked, "I've changed? How? Have I become more annoying? Or more troublesome?" She looked straight at me and answered, "No, you've become more handsome." I froze for a second. "Since when did you become so smooth with your words?" She smiled softly. "I've been practicing, my dear." Just then, a relative interrupted the emotional atmosphere and quietly said, "By the way, can I tell you something? Your sister called me before. She asked me how to impress a guy." I looked at her in complete shock. The girl who barely used to talk had actually been learning how to impress someone. The relative continued. "I told her, just go and tell him how you truly feel." I honestly didn't think she'd do it, but she actually did. I slowly looked to the side. Shen Qingming was already looking at me. Suddenly, someone called out to the relative, "All right, you should head home now. You understand, right? We'd like a little privacy." Feeling awkward, the relative quietly left. I remained silent. Then I suddenly remembered the day after high school, when I thought everything was over, and believed we'd never meet again. Life had simply gone in different directions. But that had only been my own assumption. Because the truth was, she had never really left. She had always been making her way toward me. Qingming quietly said, "You know, even back then when you thought everything was over, I still wanted to come to you. I could only stare at her. And finally, I understood. This story never started with a goodbye. It had always been a story about finding its way back to you." The end. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Seriously, smash that like button. We've been getting fewer likes lately. And don't forget to leave a comment too. Just write "next episode," or write a poem if you want. If you want to roast me, go ahead and roast me too. Just leave a comment. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye, take care, bye bye, see you, Khuda Hafiz, best wishes, and bye.